Now we're going to apply a foundation and a powder. First I'm going to use my foundation brush and a foundation. And I'm using a liquid foundation on her. But there are so many different kinds that you can use. You can use a cream, or they have stick foundations which are really easy to apply. You can use a powder foundation if you'd like, but make sure your skin's very moist before you brush it onto the skin. And all I'm doing is just painting a really thin layer evenly all over her skin. And go all the way into the hairline, by the ear, into the ear, not into the ear, but make sure you don't have a line. And then blend right through the jawline, underneath the chin, go right up to the lips. And then make sure you get right in between the brows, above the brows, and all the way into the hairline and the forehead. And I really like using a foundation brush instead of a sponge, because a sponge can absorb so much of your product that you go through it twice as fast. You really only need a small amount of foundation with a brush. If you find that your brush is leaving streak marks, try a smaller amount of product, and that should help. If it streaks, that means that you have too much. Just a nice even layer, and you're just painting it up and down all over. Make sure you get in the corners of your nose, bottom of your nose. And then look up, Alex. Make sure you go all the way under your lashes. And then if you feel like you want a little more coverage, you can go back in with a concealer and add a little more. But the foundation a lot of the times covers so much that sometimes you don't even need an extra concealer. If you find that you have too much product on your brush, you can just wipe the excess off on your hand and then continue working. But make sure your hands are clean. You'll always want to wash your hands before you start doing makeup. Okay. And now I'm going to go in with a loose powder, a nice translucent powder. So it's not going to add any more coverage, but it's just going to take away a little bit of that shine, and it's going to set your foundation. So I'm just going to work the translucent powder into my brush and tap off the excess. And then I'm going to go through the forehead, into the hairline, through the nose, the cheekbones, underneath the eyes, and just really work that powder in, because it's going to set your foundation so your foundation doesn't move all day long, or all night long in Alex's case. So just work that powder in there. I like using a translucent powder because it's colorless and it just really soaks right into the skin, and you don't have to worry about getting blotchy or having too much of one color in a certain area, because it's clear. And now her foundation is set with the powder, and we can get started with our next step.